And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another episode of the Live, Laugh, Left podcast. This is Live, Laugh, Left episode, season 4, episode 23. And if I don't sound that happy, because A, I have a headache, B, somehow my fucking USB port broke. Somehow my USB, how does a USB port break?
You'll be surprised.
I did a short on it. Whatever. Still in recruitment for people to build me a new PC, because this fucker loves hating me and breaking down at the worst possible points. So, anyway, move on. We got a lot to talk about this week. Not really. We say I am currently up north celebrating the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to everybody, by the way. This is going up on the 4th of July. So we are recording this. We are recording this like 4 days earlier than we usually do. So that's why it's going to be kind of a shorter episode. But the next episode after this will be longer. So there's that. And we'll have a guest. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this week we're going to be talking about both Atlanta and Lime Rock Park. So that's going to be fun. And I don't have any other silly season news to go over. Because it's Monday that I'm recording this. So there you go. But there'll be a lot of stuff to talk about again next week. But we will at the end preview this weekend's action at the Chicago Street Course. So there's that. Anyway, so this is going to be a bit of a different order than we normally do, because the Xfinity Series race first, then the trucks, then the Cup Series. So we're going to do it in that order. So let's start with the Xfinity race at Atlanta, a race that I did not think I was going to get much ability to watch. But turned out, Mother Nature was on my side, in a way. There was a lengthy rain delay, because of long lightning strikes in the area. And then there was a second rain delay that actually delayed the race like 40 something laps in. And then when we got going, there was a huge crash right off the bat. Took out William Sawalich, Parker Retzlaff, and many others. Austin Hill did not have a great night. He had mechanical problems that took him out of contention. And then there were more rain problems, and then another big wreck on that ensuing restart that took out Justin Allgaier, Sheldon Creed, Jesse Love, and more. So that two big wrecks right off the bat eliminated a good chunk of the field, especially some of the heavy contenders. Nick Sanchez went around for a spin in stage 2. Harrison Burton did a similar thing and also took out Daniel Dye in the process. Jeremy Clemens went spinning on the ensuing restarts. Then things calmed down for a little while after that, with McLaughlin spinning in stage 3, Maggio blowing a tire on the ensuing restart, and then McLaughlin again getting involved in an incident by blowing another tire. That was kind of crazy. Then the final few laps, though, we finally got some good racing to finish it all off, and at the end of the day, Nick Sanchez, taking over Parker Kligerman's old ride, would go on to hold off the hard-charging field, what was left of it at least, to win his very first career Xfinity race. So congratulations, Nick Sanchez. Very hard-earned win. He was a contender all night, really. So it was good stuff. Good stuff. And then the truck race. Probably the most anticipated race of the weekend because it's a new track. It's a brand new track. For the series, at least. It's been around for a long time. But it's the first time it's been a truck race. So I was expecting a lot. Expecting a lot of cool action. Unpredictability. It's a new track. Maybe some big wrecks, maybe some good racing, a good finish. Guess what we got?
None of that.
A snooze fest. Folks, Corey Heim led. I think there was a 100-lap race. Corey Heim led 99 laps out of 100. The only other person to lead a lap was Lane Riggs. Lane Riggs led 1 lap on the last restart before getting spun and going back to the back of the top 10. What the fuck?
If he doesn't win the championship this year, I don't know what to think.
He better win the championship with all these performances that are making the truck series a snooze fest most weeks. There were only 3 total cautions in this race. 2 of them were stage cautions, and then the last caution came out with just over 10 laps to go during a bit of a chaotic stretch when Sutton blew a tire, but he kept going, and then Matt Mills spun and got stalled in the gravel. That was the only caution for incident all day in the truck series. And I didn't watch the race itself. I watched the highlights afterwards. But, like, the on-track action, like, it was good. Like, there was some good action, some nice bumping and banging. But, I mean, for what, it was kind of a letdown. Kind of sucked. Granted, I think if it was an Xfinity race there, it might have been better. There might have been some more parity for the lead. Because, again, Corey Heim has been putting on a tear all season long. So, of course, we know he's probably going to win. But in that fashion, damn, it was fast. So, I mean, that was Lime Rock Park. What I'd say, I'd like to see an Xfinity race here. Maybe not a Cup race. I don't think Cup's going to go there right now, at least. But I would like to see an Xfinity race here. I think it would be good. Because the track is challenging. There were a lot of... It was very hard to pass. And that is of the style of the track, from what I've heard. Because the track is very slick. Old surface. So it is hard to pass because you can't really find a lot of grip. But still. I was expecting a little bit more. So. But then the Cup race. Oh, the Cup race. Rain delayed Cup again. Just like it did the Xfinity race.
Maybe you don't have a race in Atlanta in the end of June. Just a suggestion.
Just a thought. Just a thought.
It's a thought that counts.
Maybe you avoid problems like this. I don't know.
It's a thought that counts.
There was a big run. First big one of the night. Ended the stage 1. Check out Christopher Bell. Kyle Busch. Kyle Larson was involved more. And more were involved too. So that ended stage 1. And then there was a huge one, probably the biggest wreck we're going to see all season, taking place early in stage 2. 26 total cars were collected in the mess, including Denny Hamlin, Austin Cindric, sadly, because he was my fantasy pick. So unfortunately, we did not win in fantasy this week because he wrecked in the big one, despite getting a stage win. Noah Gragson was involved. And a plethora of others were involved. So, 26 cars in total. And I really didn't get a chance to, like, start watching the race until right after stage 1. Well, actually, right after the big one. After the second big one. So when I was like... Because I turned it on for a little bit. Noticed Cindric was running in second. I'm like, oh, we're doing really good. You know, it's going to be awesome. Maybe we'll win this week. And then I turned it back on a little while later, and I saw that half the field was gone. I'm like, what the fuck happened? That was wild. Racing calmed down after that, because there was a lot less cars to race. Recce Spinhouse hit the wall, along with Eric Jones. Both of them would continue. Riley Herbst and Todd Gilliland would both wreck while having a pretty good race going. And then Shane Van Gisbergen spun in the third stage because he sucks on ovals.
Jesus.
Sneeze compilation. Mark it down. Bubba Wallace spun. Wrecked himself out of the race. Eric Jones would spin a little bit later on. David Starr, who I didn't even know was still racing until this very night, he wrecked out. No surprise there. Still secured like a top 25, which is like a major milestone for David Starr. So there you go. And then the last caution would be for Justin Haley going around for a spin, which set up like a 20 lap shootout for the finish. And at this point, there's only about 15 to 20 competitive cars. A great majority of them have never won in the Cup Series or haven't won this season. So we were having a pretty good chance that somebody was going to win. That was going to be new for the New Year's Eve Spectacular. We're at the halfway point of the season now. I'm like, damn, we're at 21 drivers at the halfway point of the season. I mean, Brad Keselowski was up there, which would have been a great win. Tyler Reddick is not in it this year yet, so he was up there fighting for the win.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly, he has not won yet. I didn't know that until last night. There were a few other drivers that were making some moves, but in the end, we would not get a new entry into the New Year's Eve Spectacular, but we got a good winner anyways, because it was Chase Elliott. Whoa! Chase Elliott made a last lap pass with the help from his teammate Alex Bowman to pass Brad Keselowski on the final lap to score the win.
It was actually very strategically because then Brad Keselowski tried to pull right in front of Alex Bowman. And Alex Bowman pulled away, saying, "No, I'm not going to bump draft you." But
well, at the end of the race there, I was noticing I thought Brad was going to have it in the bag because nobody was willing to work together at the end there until the lone two Hendrick cars that were left in the race were like, yeah, we can maybe win this thing if we work together. And guess what? They work together and they win the race. So that was pretty nice to see Chase Elliott back in victory lane in his hometown. Well, not his hometown, but his home track as well. So sound the siren or the bell or whatever they do for him at that one restaurant.
This also puts 3 of the 4 Hendrick drivers into the playoffs.
That's right.
Come on, Bowman. Win at Chicago.
I thought Bowman might win there at the end. I thought Keselowski was going to win it. Priest and
Bowman's
Buescher
been
were
getting close a lot, though.
Priest and Buescher were up there at the end. But Chase Elliott prevailed them all, which is pretty crazy to see and also really awesome. Let's go, baby. Woo. He was driving a paint scheme for a little kid. I think he's a Make-A-Wish kid. Created a paint scheme for his car.
The Make-A-Wish kid actually drew the car out.
And he won it.
How she wanted the car.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, baby. But yeah, so that was Atlanta. Good racing all throughout. Rain, wrecks, good finishes all throughout. So I know a lot of people wanted to see Keselowski win. I know a lot of people wanted to see Buescher win. I know a lot of people wanted to see anybody else but Chase Elliott win. But I don't care. I wanted to see him win. And guess what? He won a race. But before we put Atlanta in the books, there was a new broadcast team, or new network on hand for this race. And it was indeed TNT, returning after an 11-year hiatus. Well, how'd they do?
I think they did fine.
I think they did pretty good. They had the same broadcast team as they did with Prime, which I think helped, because they were really good with Prime, and they were good here as well. But I thought the coverage was smooth, slick.
Steve Letarte was there? I know Junior was there, but I didn't know Steve Letarte and the other guy was there.
Maybe Steve Letarte wasn't there. Close enough. 2 out of 3 is good enough.
I'm just glad that we don't have to hear Jeff Burton go, "Oh my God."
Yeah, thank God he's not in the booth right now. Eventually, NBC will be back, and we'll all want to shoot ourselves in the face. But that's a time for later down the line. But I thought TNT did good. Good coverage, good efforts. So I don't really know. It wasn't as good as Amazon Prime because they were a little bit bogged down by commercials, by network limitations. But with what they did, I thought it was good. I really liked TNT when they were broadcasting back in from like 07 to or back from like the 2000s, like 2014. So I was really excited that they're coming back, and I really wasn't disappointed. So it was good. So we'll see how their efforts progress. They have 4 more races on their schedule before they go away, and we are subjected to ear bleeding by Jeff Burton. But that'll be another time for another time. So for now, let's put
I wish
Atlanta
Jeff Gordon was there, up in the booth.
in the books. Oh yeah, there's also the stupid in-season challenge that started this week. Because
Dylan's already out of the playoffs.
Because 37 out of 40 drivers got involved in some sort of accident over the course of the race. A lot of drivers didn't move on that were projected to move on, such as Denny Hamlin, and Ty Dillon did a little funny joke about that, which I already hate Ty Dillon to a core, but he did do something good in this Atlanta race by putting Ty Gibbs into the wall and preventing Ty Gibbs from winning a race. So Ty Dillon finally did something good. I'll give him credit where credit is due.
Good job, Ty. I'm
I
okay
guess-
with you right now.
But I mean, yeah, I don't care. I don't care who the fuck won. I don't care who the fuck loses. If I was a driver in this, and I was in this bracket challenge thing, I'd just still go out there and win. I'd do whatever it takes to win, get points, go to the playoffs, and win a damn championship. And if I win $1 million out of it because I win this challenge, so be it. It's kind of what my thoughts on that are. But don't know if you got anything else to say about this, Gary.
Okay, so it's a better champion than any other person in the NASCAR. Well, actually, I'm not going to say that. He's not better than Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Richard Petty. Can't believe I'm saying this. He's better. He's not better than Jimmy Johnson, even though I really didn't want to have to say that, but I'm going to anyways.
True.
Sweet.
Again, no penalties to announce. Nothing else crazy to announce from the weekend. There hasn't been anything crazy. Again, it's only Monday. With that being said, unless Gary, you had any other news to talk about.
No.
Well, let's jump in to previewing this weekend's action. Yes, folks, for some fucking reason, for a third year, we're back at the Chicago Street Course.
I don't know why you guys hate it so much. I love the Chicago Street Course.
No, I don't like it. You know why I don't like it? Let's take a look at the forecast for the weekend. Oh, look at that. Rain. Rain, rain, rain. And they can't drive in the rain for some fucking reason.
I don't know why. You tell me.
2 p.m. start. I bet it's going to be delayed for 3 fucking hours, and they're going to drive 5 laps, and some nobody that nobody wants to see win ever is going to win again in some miraculous fashion because their tires for some reason didn't explode while all the contenders did, because all the water that was on the track miraculously dries up in 2 laps.
Actually, it's not a track, it's a street.
Shut up.
Just like how last week was named Echo Park, not Atlanta.
Shut up. Shut up.
But I didn't say anything because he would have gone this way.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Garry, that's strike one.
That's 2 strikes. That's a double strike.
What?
1 for promoting the street course, 2 for the name misplacement. Anyways.
Guys, if you have not watched our podcast a lot, I tend to get strikes a lot.
Yes, you do.
And Tyler is the one that holds the strikes. So if I do anything that's not good, 3 strikes and I'm out.
Anyway, Chicago street course. Woo! Let's say there's not going to be rain. Maybe it'll be fun. I think it can be fun. Unpredictable winners. We've had 2 crazy winners the first 2 years we've been there. And all signs are pointing to this being the last year of the street course as well, because again, heavy rumors that it's going to be replaced by a street race in either San Diego, Philadelphia, or some other location that has not been announced yet. So, citizens of Chicago, take this one in. Or just wait like a year or 2 and they'll be back at Chicagoland, which is a significantly better experience probably. So, there you go. But anyway, now let's get down to our race predictions. Well, the Truck Series is off for quite a while. So it's Xfinity and Cup racing this weekend. Par for the course. So who do we think is going to win the Xfinity race?
Sammy Smith.
Interesting. I would have picked Shane Van Gisbergen, and he's racing.
Yay.
Probably going to win.
Yay.
But now,
Who did you have last week for chips? Brad Keselowski or Burton? Sorry, Josh Berry.
I don't remember who I had. I think I had Barry.
Okay, well then you lost. All right.
Par for the course, I guess.
You can blame the Rex. All right, that means you get first pick. Let me just there you go.
Well, I've lost.
Again. Let me get Brad out.
And then unless Garry gets somebody worse. Oh.
Pick Bubba Wallace. Don't pick Bubba Wallace. Don't pick Bubba Wallace. Don't pick Bubba Wallace, please. I could have gotten this last week. I should have gotten this last week. This would have been perfect last week. So it looks like you are going to lose back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. Well, this is where the lap 1 rainstorm that takes out all the competitive drivers comes in. And I actually win because Chase Elliott wrecks and Noah Gragson finishes like 15th. So there we go.
That ain't going to happen now, is it?
Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it's going to do it for this episode of the Live Laugh Left podcast. Stay tuned for next week when we recap the Chicago Street Course, including we will have the one and the only Ann Pomeroy on to dissect the race as well. So that should be fun. And then we'll talk about other fun stuff. We'll catch up on this week's news as well as next week's news. So we should be all set there. Till next time, guys, though, stay tuned for the much more amazing content both here and on the Pringleson YouTube channel. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.